Hi everyone, these are your February 2017 horoscopes, and that's a month of love and a month of eclipses as well. We'll go in depth about it, but because it's the month of love, I want to bring you a very cheap and affordable webinar just for $19, below $20, that I'll do on the 12th of February, right after the eclipse and before February the 14th, the celebration of love. And it's gonna be on compatibility and love according to ancient method, Vedic method. We're gonna look at the soulmate chart, the 9 divisional on the Vamsha chart, and compare it to the birth chart of one person and the other. This is a technique that is very rare. I haven't seen anyone else use it, but one particular astrologer, and it's ancient one. It's given to her in Tibet, so it's amazing, guys. I personally use it a lot, and it shows whether you're soulmates, basically, because you can have sexual attraction and physical attraction with many people. Are you meant to walk the path together in this lifetime? Is there this attraction? And sometimes people can feel the attraction towards someone else, but the other one might not feel. They might feel sexually attracted to you, but might not feel the pull to spend your life with you. And we're going to be able to see whether it's both ways or one ways. It's an amazing technique. Come and join me, just $20. And then towards the end of February, on the 20-something, I think it was the 26th. Yes, on Sunday again, I'm going to do a webinar all about Neptune. Those of you who took all about Uranus, my webinar, you'll get a discount for it. And so come and join me for this one. It's been success, 6-7 hours it carries on. Virgo February 2017, what a month for you Virgos. The eclipses directly, the second eclipse directly affects you, and can be a period that turns your life around for some of you, and we're going to talk about that, specifically how it affects you. But the first eclipse is the lunar eclipse, which is happening in your 12th house. It doesn't affect you directly. The 12th house is the hidden house. For many of you, it might stay as an unnoticed event in some way, the lunar eclipse, but the 12th house is a very psychic house, and a lunar eclipse, which means that the moon is full during a lunar eclipse, and the intuition is powerful. And in the 12th house is past life memories, it's dreams and messages from the invisible worlds, it's your intuition, so it can really enhance, this full moon eclipse in Leo in your 12th house, Virgos, can really enhance your intuition for the first 20 days of February. It's happening exactly around the 10th, I think, of February. So around that time, a week before and after, if you're feeling more sensitive, if you're feeling more psychic, you can receive, like the gates of the invisible world can open for you to receive insights from above, or invisible support and help. So there is kind of one of those periods for you Virgos where the walls between the two dimensions and the worlds, the visible and invisible, attenuate, become thinner, and you can tap into that. And I know you Virgos are practical people, and you're thinking, what kind of bullshit is that? But you will feel it, and watch out for such signs from the invisible worlds. But otherwise, many Virgos have planets in Leo, by the way, where the eclipse will be at 22 degrees in Leo. Because often, always the Venus and Mercury, two planets, are very close to the sun sign. So at least 40-50% of Virgos will have some planet in Leo. So check out from my birth chart calculator. If you have any planets from the planetary detail table, if you have any planets in Leo, particularly say you might have Venus in Leo, and if it's from within, I would say from within 17 degrees of Leo to around 27-8 degrees of Leo, and the eclipse falls exactly at 22 degrees Leo, this can turn your love life around. But it can bring you something, Virgos. You know, if you have a planet in Leo, for example, if it's Venus, it can be a love life. If it's Mercury, it can be the structure and the routines of your life and the work. For example, Mercury also rules work, and it can bring, but it will turn your life around by bringing you something new, because this eclipse is about bringing things. Because it's this lunar eclipse is, first of all, makes a beautiful shape, very much supported by other planets. Look at that, it's perfect geometrical shape. It's almost like the divine order of the cosmos is aligning for that eclipse. And that's why I'm thinking that people who are more intuitive will get amazing insights that are clear, that are not jumbled mixed signals, because look at the crystalline structure of the planets, and this full lunar eclipse is happening in your 12th house. So there's like a clear channels, that information, invisible inspirations, and invisible support will be coming to you Virgos, because the 12th house is being triggered there. So listen to that intuition, and if you happen to have anything in Virgo, anything in Leo, you know, any planets in Leo, pay specific attention to that planet and its nature, because it will bring you something tangible over the next 2-3 months. Even before that, a month before that, you might feel it, January and February, you know, because this eclipse brings things, this lunar eclipse. And then is the next eclipse on the 26th of February, which will be active a month or two before the eclipse already. Maybe from January you'll feel it, up to 6 months after the eclipse, up to the next eclipse in August, basically. So it's not, don't expect just on that day, on the 26th, something to be happening. This eclipse affects you big way, Virgos. This eclipse, specifically Virgos born, Virgo sun people born from the 16th to around the 20th. Is it? No, it's not about from the 16th to around the 20th. 8 degrees, 8 degrees Virgo. So that would mean that you're born, sorry about that, guys. I had the dates and I forgot them. La 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 la. Hope you don't mind. Yeah, I can't. I will probably write them down, but that was for Saturn. Ah, here it is, yes. So Virgo's born, because it's happening at 8 degrees, this eclipse, and that's a solar eclipse, and it's gonna affect some of you very powerfully, specifically those who have their sun around the 8th degree of Virgo, which is the opposite. It's an 8-degree Pisces. Your sun will be, or ascendant or moon. If you happen to have your ascendant, sun or moon from around 4 degrees in Pisces, in Virgo, to around, the first 10 degrees, I would call it, to around the 15, 16 degree. The first 15 degrees in Virgo, you can feel it. This can really affect your life. So sun, moon, or ascendant in the first 15 degrees of Virgo, you can very strongly feel that eclipse. It can have a life-turning effect on you, but particularly if you're at 2-3 degrees. Say if your sun is at 10 degrees Virgo, or at 11 degrees, 2-3 degrees around the 8th degree, and it means that maybe you are born from around, I don't know, from around the 29th of August to around the 5th of September, the people that will be affected most strongly, especially around the 31st of August, the 1st and 2nd of September. Wow, this is whose life can be totally transformed over the next 6 months, because an eclipse, solar eclipse, is about new beginnings. But this solar eclipse in particular, guys, is happening in your 7th house. So I'm speaking about all Virgos now, but particularly if you have those degrees, so days that I mentioned, pay stronger attention. Because, but all Virgos can feel it, you know, in different levels. It falls in your 7th house of relationships. So life transforming changes can happen to you through other people. It's not necessarily your marriage. It might be a business relationship, it might be a business agreement or a contract of some sort. 7th house rules contracts and agreements. It might be that over the next 6 months something, and as I keep repeating, eclipses bring fated events, things that are almost out of your control, things that have been determined for you before your birth even, that the soul, you know how people that go life between lives, and they see how they prepare for their lives, for the next life, and they see how they're shown key moments in their lives, and how there are maps for their future lives where certain things are meant to happen. You know, like a tree that, you know, you can have free will of some percentage, but certain things are meant to happen there, and usually the eclipses bring those fated, meant to happen moments, especially if they fall very close to a planet in your horoscope. And now it's more general, we're speaking about the 7th house, but still, you know, for some of you Virgos, it can indicate something to do with 7th house, with business contract, with relationships, marriage, personal commitment relationships, or professional relationships that is fated, that your soul agreed on before that, you know, that you almost kind of, the universe brings it because you have to experience it, so don't blame yourself, whatever. But this eclipse is formed by Ketu. Ketu is a point of release and letting go. So some of you Virgos might be asked to let go first of some relationship, some contract, some promise over the next few months. Maybe it's starting already, especially if you're close to those degrees that I mentioned, and whether it's your ascendant, sun, or moon. You might be asked to release something you know, from some agreement, relationship, some part of the, you might have to change something in a big way in regards to a relationship. But you shouldn't feel sad about it, because this eclipse, it's very spiritual. It wants to move your soul ahead, because it happens in Pisces, the most spiritual sign. It happens to be conjunct Neptune, the planet of letting go and letting God, and the planet of spirituality and divine love, and Ketu, which is about releasing, leaving the past behind. So some of you might, for example, be able to release, if they've already, some of you maybe, if you've released relationships in the past, now can be a time when you totally can, you know, release it psychologically and emotionally. Maybe you're still hung up on someone, and this eclipse can allow you to finally release it, close the chapter, and because of that, allow for a new beginning to come over the next 6 months, because the Sun and Moon are together. This is a solar eclipse, which brings new beginnings. But here, the trick with this eclipse is that first you have to release something in order to make space for the new thing that the eclipse brings, the solar eclipse brings over the next few months. So releasing some contracts, some agreement, some promise, some relationship, some commitment with another person, some business or personal partnership, or kind of closing a chapter on it, which makes space for a new fated, very likely even karmic relationships. And by the way, in Vedic astrology there is a rule: when eclipses are happening on the axis of your ascendant and 7th house cusp, or on the axis of your moon, so basically if you have your moon or ascendant in Virgo, not exactly the Sun, but the moon and ascendant still, this is when fated relationships can come to you, the ones that are meant to turn your life around, the ones that you have a soul contract with, the ones that you can get married and be in a relationship with. This is when they come and go. This is when the doors open for such fated relationships. So stay tuned, guys, you know. Okay, so these are the 2 eclipses. One very spiritual, one can give you something again spiritual, because it's happening in your 12th house, Virgos, bringing intuition. And then we have Jupiter turning basically retrograde in Libra. It's in your 6th house, isn't it? No. Oh, in your 2nd house. What am I talking about? Jupiter is turning retrograde in your 2nd house for the first time in 12 years. Jupiter turns retrograde every year, but in a different house. This year, it's turning in your 2nd house of money and finances, and it's gonna stay retrograde till around June, till the end of June 2017, which means that maybe some opportunities or some ideas that you've had before, that they just crossed your mind, how to make money, or how to increase your financial stability, or how to improve the situation and security in your life, or how to improve your family situation, which is all ruled by the 2nd house, will come back to you as an opportunity. Will come back. Maybe you just thought of something in the previous few months that, oh, how can I increase my income or something, and Jupiter turning retrograde can bring back that opportunity that possibly even slept through your fingers, or just you didn't do anything about it. It's going to be brought back to be worked again on. That's a great thing. But it can slow certain things down in regards to your finances. It can slow, if you are expecting immediate results, for example, of getting money or something, or getting some financial rewards immediately on some project you're working, because Jupiter is going retrograde, it might ask you to put extra efforts in order to start seeing the financial rewards and the security and the stability and the payback of those actions. Might ask you over the next 4 or 5 months while it's retrograde to tweak certain things of the plan, and to work harder, to make some adjustments, because this is what retrogradation is about, going back over, improving something, working 3 times harder. But once it starts moving direct, it will give you 3 times better results and 3 times bigger manifestation, which is around from the summer, basically, for the northern hemisphere, June, July onwards, when Jupiter starts moving direct. And your efforts, 3 times more efforts in regards to financial material things and valuables and assets of any sort, will start paying off. Let me give you an example. Well, while I had Jupiter retrograde in my financial house of money, and Jupiter stays usually retrograde there for 4 or 5 months, and even before that, astrologers told me, and I knew Jupiter in my second house has to increase my finances, and almost like 7-8 months have passed, and my finances weren't increasing. And the moment Jupiter turned direct, and by the time Jupiter came out of my second house, I saw the results. So don't be impatient. The results financially, the increase will come. The financial stability will come, the improvement of your family situation, financial stability. But it might take up to the end of Jupiter being in Libra in your second house to see the results. But you're brewing it now. You're brewing the events, and you're brewing the, even with Jupiter retrograde, if there's some delays, you're brewing those opportunities, working on them, perfecting them. Anyway, so that's the prediction for you, Virgo. Thank you so much, and come join me for my love webinar on the 11th. Was it the 11th? Yeah. So thank you so much, and write to me. See you next month.